Check, check. Okay. That should get us there. And momentarily on here, it'll work.
Sorry.
Hey,
Hold on a sec.
we have audio. Cool. We have audio, we have video. My computer
Okay.
is.
So I just don't have it on my phone, which is weird. Oh! Nope, there it is. It was a delay.
Yep.
We're good.
Sweet. Yeah, so the key is, will this thing continue recording and everything for us? Oop, I got to bring Audacity back up to record. So, here's the reason PETM podcast was down for 2 weeks. Is that. And this is a busted.
Dirty bastard.
Yep. This is a
Burnt up fan.
burn up. And it's a matter of fact, I didn't even replace this whole housing. I replaced this fan is tiny. It's like this big, and it's a vintage part at this point because this computer is a bit old. But yeah,
That thing's huge. That's what broke on my work laptop when they had to send me a new one at my last job.
Oh yeah. Well, I took this computer apart into 1.5 million pieces, and I mean they were. I shouldn't say scattered because I organized them really well, but there was to get into the computer is 4 different screws. To get into this piece is 7 different screws, and then this fan itself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different screws, and they're all decreasing level of size.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I've taken apart the guts of a laptop. It is not fun. You're like,
No.
Is this really necessary? Why aren't these punch and go parts?
Yeah. So what ended up happening? What had happened was, if you're into computing or whatever else, you know that if you overclock a computer, the biggest thing you have to do is be able to cool it. That's if you overclock a CPU, you gotta add extra cooling to your computer. Well, here's what happens if you don't cool it, i.e., your fan breaks. It starts degrading the experience. It gets too hot, and it says, okay, well, I'm just going to throttle how many bits that I'm doing. And so that's why the YouTube video went out, because it stopped encoding, because it was just it wasn't fast enough to encode video and do Zoom and do YouTube and all that all at the same time. So it started cutting the video. And so when I finally cut the video, then I cut the audio. I tried everything, but we need 2 things. We need Zoom and we need audio, and then we need to shut this thing down because my computer will catch fire or something. So,
right.
And we were an hour and 10 minutes in with Weaver, and I'm texting over to Sherwood, and I'm like, "Hey man, we got to shut this down, otherwise no podcast." So because I didn't have the YouTube recording, because that didn't record. The only thing I had was the audio recording. Luckily, it all finished, and I was able to upload it, and then shut this computer down. And then when I turned it back on, it started talking dirty. It was like, hey, man, you got some serious stuff messed up right now. You need to be looking into this. When you first turned it on, there's a BIOS stuff. It was fan malfunction detected, blah, blah, blah. It got upset. So, but yeah, I can hear the fan running now. The new / refurbished fan or whatever. And it's pumping out some heat. So that means all the encoding stuff is working and things are going, and so hopefully that solves it for the short to mid term, and then at some point I'll just go grab me a new computer and not have to deal with the bullcrap.
Yeah, well, I mean, that doesn't always solve all your problems, but you can get a pretty decent machine for not a lot of money right now.
I'm tempted. You'll make fun of me probably. I'm tempted to go buy a Mac, because we use those at work, and I'm just man, this experience is just so much better. It's so much.
Oh no, I won't pick on you for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no secret that the Mac is the bomb. It's just about 2.3x.
Right.
But I think there's value in it. This is why I've never wanted to deviate from an iPhone. I have an iPhone 6s.
Yep.
It is 9 upgrades past what is present, and it still works just fine.
Yep. I got a 5S.
I know. I said that. I was talking to somebody earlier, or no, it was last night. I was talking to Evan, And
There it
I
is
was
right
like,
here.
yeah, I think Rusty and I have the oldest operating phones in the history of phones right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here it is. This is my work laptop right here, and this is the newest MacBook Pro with all the settings turned to 11. And so, if you want
That's
this,
probably $2,500, probably.
it's about double that. It's about $5,000 for this
Okay.
one
Well,
crazy computer. Now,
I mean, if it's depending on, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. I tore one up, I don't know, 8 years ago, uh, and it was a $1,500 retail. And I
yeah,
was like, that's what a laptop cost? And I'm like, I don't even want to know what this one I got right over here is.
right, right. So,
I mean, I'm probably looking at yeah. I mean, well, probably half of what yours is, but
yeah,
because it's a Lenovo, formerly Dell, or not Dell, but uh, golly, who was it? Gateway, I think.
yeah, yeah. Well, that one, I mean, it could do a podcast and solve world hunger at the same time. Like, that thing is ridiculous. Matter of fact, I do have Windows installed on it too, and I run gigantic database servers on it, on Windows on a Mac. It's kind of silly, but yeah. But there you go. That's the part right there. If this little thing doesn't spin, then your
Yeah,
podcast is
yeah,
wrecked.
yeah. You lose your podcast.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I've been tweeting out of something like, man, we hadn't taken 2 weeks off without saying it's because of vacation since we started. So y'all know we're chomping at the bit to get back on it.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it might just need cleaning or something in the internals, but I have no idea how to take this apart. It looks like it's been pressed, so there's no way to you know take that apart or anything.
You may be able to do it with that like nitrogen keyboard cleaner stuff
Yeah, I think it's
to
in the
get enough
bearings.
dust
I think
out of it.
I'd have to like grease the bearings, and I have no idea how to get into those. I think it's just seized, um, with
Oh,
all kinds of stuff. But that's
well,
inside
if
this
you want to
housing.
play with ideas around like making it be functional again, I bet I could help you with that. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
We could
Well,
we
what I
could
mean
come up
is,
with a low. I mean, what I'm saying is, if you can get it clean,
hmm
and what you can tell, like when you feel it, is it's actually the bearing that's catching. We can just put like a little dab of like motor oil in it, and
oh
then
no,
see
so
if
I
that
understand.
grabs.
Here's the thing. I understand all that. It's just that to get to the bearings, you have to get into this housing, and I think this housing is press fit on or press welded, if you will, and like that's the part
Yeah,
where
yeah. No, I,
it's
I
like
I know what you
I
mean.
don't
I'm
even know how
talking
to.
about if you just walk it down the fan blades
Yeah, yeah.
and see if
See if it.
it'll creep in
Yeah,
on
yeah.
its own.
Yep. Well, either way, this is going in the trash now. And matter of fact, in order to buy it, I had to buy the whole thing. And this housing is a little bit different than the one that is actually in there. So I swapped fans. So this is the quote unquote new housing. But this is the old fan. I just put it back on here just so I wouldn't lose a bunch of screws. But I'm just about to throw it. Matter of fact, I'm doing it now. There we go. It's in the trash.
Peace out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh, look at that. And folks came on to hang out with us while we're just hanging. Y'all are the best. Like, we're just trying to make sure this computer won't completely die again.
Right. We're trying to just get healthy over here.
Yeah. Roger, I don't know if you caught it, but the fan busted, so the computer started overheating, so it started throttling, and that's why the video went out last time. And yeah, just trying to get all that back.
And he probably actually understands all that
Oh yeah,
noise.
I guarantee he does. Yeah. Yeah. But now,
I'm
yeah,
curious
it's
what
fantastic.
happens when. Oh yeah, I figured that would happen. I need to shut it down on the volume side. Shut up.
Oh yeah, I should also just press record on this thing just to make sure it records. But I'm not gonna save the recording. But yeah, no,
No,
it's good.
it's fine.
Matter
There
of
we go. I
fact,
shut it off.
let's do a full show test here and go into.
What's everybody up to on a Saturday? I've been up since well, I actually slept till about 9:45, but I got called at 2 a.m. last night, and I wasn't even supposed to be on call this weekend,
Oh dang!
which is awesome. And I was sort of paying attention to stuff till like 4:30, which is also awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling a certain kind of way about work right now, which I'm sure you have recently as well. So
Work's been wild and crazy. It's been fun because we're doing some cool stuff. We did some big accomplishments and things. But boy, yeah, it'll wear you right out. But yep, now I've got the music playing. Music sounds good. Can you hear the music?
yeah, I can hear it.
Nice. So, yeah, there you go. There's the full test right there. Roger says, I understand my son repairs and builds computers. I'll tell you, Roger, I do not. I just tinker. Like, if this were, it's not that I know how the laptop innards work. Well, I know the pieces and stuff. Like, I might know a car, but like, if I've got, I don't know, if it's a weed whacker, I'm gonna take it apart and just see if I can figure out what's wrong.
Right. I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
I think I probably told you the funny story about how I rebuilt the fuel line, and there was a couple things with a choke in my dad's blower, and like he didn't have the patience to find the spot where the choke needed to be.
Oh yeah.
For it to stay running and just cussing. I mean, just F this and F that and GD this. GD that. And then he's like, how in the hell you make this thing work? And I like flip the ignition on, pull the cord, set the choke to like right where I knew where it would work, and it just stayed humming. He goes, this is bullshit. I'm like, hey, you asked me to fix it and I fixed it. You didn't ask me how to run it.
Bob asked us what we're drinking. Bob, I'm drinking some water right now. Matter of fact, I just got back from. I went flying earlier, so I flew up.
Red Brick Brewing.
Nice. Flew out
water?
to Rome.
Just pure, good old water.
Yeah. Flew out to Rome, Georgia, and just practice a few touchdowns and stuff, and come back. Just enjoying the view. It's a real pretty day.
Freeze your ass off. Cold up here.
Oh, it's 3 degrees Celsius, so whatever that is, 35 or so. Well, the thing is, we have you have cabin heat, and what that does is it runs air right past the manifold, and so it comes in at like probably 160 degrees.
975,000 degrees. Yeah, that's the way the old school heaters worked before they put like diverters in them.
Right.
On cars, they would just blow a fan across the exhaust manifold.
Yeah. So I stayed toasty warm. As a matter of fact, I came back sweating because I had put I got 2 layers. I got matter of fact, I got my Ryan Truex shirt on, and then my Bubba Wallace shirt over the top of that. And then just a windbreaker that I was wearing over the top of that. And
see, trying to remember what I'm wearing right now. I got all the stuff.
Yeah.
I got the Champ. I got
Georgia Tech,
the Good Boys, and then I got Hank Aaron right here.
I'm all NASCAR. Yeah, there's let's see. Yep, there's a Go Ryan shirt. Here's the Bubba Wallace pullover and the Atlanta Motor Speedway hat. So,
did you see his McDonald's paint scheme? That thing is fire.
No, I got to see that.
Oh, you got to check it out. And Kelly Blue Book signed on for 2 more years with Chase for 2 races.
Oh, that's great.
But now that he's champ, they made the car mostly blue, but it's got like gold trim on the front, and then like rush stripes down the side, in like old gold, like Georgia Tech gold.
Oh man, I like that. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Building gaming computers for people, repairing laptops, putting in solid state hard drives, etc. Yeah, that would be that'd be killer. But yeah, I mean, this thing will only last so long, so probably good to buy some insurance in the way of another computer. The problem is I've let everything go for so long. Like, this computer is probably 7 years old. My phone is 8 years old. My truck is 18 years old, and they all run great. But it's like, when your fan dies, or my home button on my phone is starting to act up. And so I got to like mash it 3 or 4 times for it to understand what I'm saying. And it's like, my wife gets on to me, She's like, just go buy another phone. You have the funds in your account. You can just go buy one.
I think I've already bought this one twice because I did that lease program thing.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to give it up because I'm like, well, not one time have I gotten a new phone where the stuff on it transferred to the new one. Because I think it's magic at the Verizon store that they just somehow block you from doing that. And I don't know why, but it doesn't work. It never has for me. I hope it's worked for somebody else, but it has never worked for me.
Yeah. You know, Roger, you said your phone was purchased Christmas Eve and the battery was bowing. Well, or bowing, I guess. Maybe you mean that it was like starting to bow out. I had this iPhone 5S, and I think it was 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I took it into one of those you break I fix places, and I said, you know, the battery's starting to drain real fast, and I have a couple cracks in the screen. Can y'all just replace the battery in the screen? And they laughed, and they're like, we can. It's going to be $125. And they go online, and they're like, you can buy the next best one off eBay for like $150 right now. And I said, but you'll fix it, right? And they're like, we'll do it. We just don't want you to be like, you know, paying all this money. And I was like, just fix it. And they're okay. And they fixed it. I'll tell you what, this thing, battery life was great. It even sped it up some by just, I think, getting the screen and the new battery and all that. Shoot, well worth the money.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know which version I would get because they probably don't offer a 7S anymore or whatever the one that was. They screwed a couple of them up and then they got better. And then I don't need that big sumbitch, that X or whatever it is. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that sumbitch.
Yeah. Well, the Apple has like a trade-in thing now. So I'm tempted to take that 5S in there. Like, that is more than half the generations ago, right?
The thing is, there's nothing wrong with this phone. The only time I ever had an issue with it was last night. And I don't think it was my phone that was the problem. I think it was whatever it was trying to connect to. And I'm like, it works fine. Like every now and again, it'll go blank screen on you and then it'll fire back up and you're good. But like, I'm talking, when I say every now and again, I'm not talking about like every 2 days. I'm talking about like once every 6 months.
Do I have
like, this thing's acting a fool right now.
I need to find a ruler. Oh, there's one. 1 second.
A ruler. We're gonna measure stuff, evidently.
Well, I went to the iPhone store. I've got a yardstick. I don't know about a ruler, but it says it says 5.4 inch display is the iPhone 12 mini. Now my iPhone 5S looks to be a 4-inch display, so that's even bigger than that. What's this other phone? Here's a 6S sitting here. That one, 5.4. I think that's bigger than the 6S. Like their mini is bigger than any of the phones that exist in my house, I believe.
Well, so here's what
was the iPhone 5S spec?
I ain't got a. Yes, I do. I have a tape measure right in this fucking drawer right here. Right here.
Yeah, it's a 4.0 screen size, so 6S.
So if I put the one right there.
6S is 4.7, and they're talking about 0.7 more than that. Good Lord.
It's 5 and
what color do I want? Black.
What is
they don't have like the
5 and 7
anymore?
or 9/16. Mine's 5 and 9/16.
Is that the 6S?
Yeah.
So if you look, so that might be like the whole phone. Like
that's corner to corner, like you measure a TV.
Yeah, but how about like just the screen part, like when the screen is awake?
No, that I did. So I put the one on where the screen starts.
I got you.
And then did it that way.
But sitting here with rulers and phones, yardsticks.
Oh no! So that means, yeah, you're right. Good call. That means it's 4 and 9/16.
Yeah, that's what I just looked at. 4.7 is what it says, and the mini is 5.7. Now I think they count more of it because the screen is bigger. Like there's not as many borders. Anyway, I'm looking at it. They don't offer it in the like
That's
gray.
funny.
They don't offer it in the chrome anymore, or whatever this is called, the space gray thing. I want the gray
Oh,
one.
that's what I've got.
Yeah, that's what I want. Apparently, you
But the
got to
thing
get
is,
in black, white, blue, green.
so this OtterBox is the thinnest OtterBox I've ever had. I have kicked this phone all over God's creation over the last 5 years. And between whatever they put on the screen, that little sticker that cleans up very nicely if you just use a little Windex, and the cover itself, I dropped my phone. I mean, I know you don't, and I don't know why, because I have like this ridiculous dexterity, but I drop my phone like 4 times a day. And for 5 years, I have not broken this phone. So the cheapest OtterBox, the little rubber fit, like it's basically a condom for your phone.
Yeah.
Works just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can't break it, you can't break it unless you're trying to break it. And I've never tried to break it.
Oh man, they won't. They list all the trade-ins, and after iPhone 6, it says other models recycling.
Recycling.
They consider.
Does that mean they ship it back to Singapore and have some 9-year-old take it apart?
They apparently my daily driver phone is considered recycling today.
Recycling. That is awesome.
Oh man. Yeah. What's in the box? iPhone, USB-C to Lightning cable. Okay.
I get an email like every 3 months from Verizon. They're like, "Hey, you're good if you want to come get a new phone." I'm like, I don't need a new phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a photographer. If I wanted to take better pictures, I'd buy a camera.
Right. All right. iPhone 12 is a 6.1 inch display. I guess I just need to go fondle one and see what I think.
Yeah, I think my boss has an XR or whatever that is. And like I look at it, and so they took the home button away. So like they droided it out to where
I don't even know.
It's digital buttons across the bottom instead of the home screen.
So my wife has one that I think she has a 7 or 7S, whatever. Like she doesn't have anything beyond a 7. I know she has a 7, and it still has the button. Now what's funny is that she was holding her dad's phone. You know, her dad's in his late 60s or whatever it is, mid 60s something, and he's working it just fine. Hands it over to her, and she's holding it, trying to do something, but it's upside down. And I'm like, Serena, you're holding the phone upside down like an old person. she's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to use these new ones. Like it ain't got no buttons, so you can't orient yourself.
Yeah. 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 I guess they thought that was the way to try to recapture some of the Samsung market.
Yeah, or maybe to fit more screen on the thing so they can call it a 5.7 inch screen when it takes up more.
That's also a good point.
Real estate, I don't know, whatever. Anyway.
So is it retinal scan then instead of fingerprint? I
hope
imagine.
So. I'm one of the 1 in 50 people who fingerprint scans don't work for. So, I've had to type in my passcode for the entirety of me owning the thing.
Oh, so you don't have like a distinguished pattern on your thumb?
It's more about the electricity in your thumb, I believe, your capacitance. And I have low capacitance or something in my finger. I don't know how it all works.
I've talked about that, Nick, because they asked it, like, you think it's pressure that makes these phones work? Because, when we first, 2007 or 8 when the first iPhone came out, they're like, how does this even work, this touchscreen stuff? And I said, I'm pretty sure it's electricity that causes it to happen, not pressure. And so now we know.
There you go.
Here we are 13 years later. Now we know.
Talking about it.
It's about internal capacitance for a body that only holds, 5 milliamps or something like that
Right.
of natural current.
Right. Right. Well, who we gonna have on Tuesday? We gotta make some phone calls now.
Well, I was thinking about calling a guy who spots for a guy who's pretty interesting.
Well, that sounds like fun to me.
So
Talk
if
about
I can
paint
make
schemes.
that happen, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
But yeah, so on the 2nd, Jeff Gluck, and on the 9th, Julia Landauer.
Sweet. Sweet. Let's see what this is doing, what this is saying.
We got to get a post Daytona 500 guest for the 16th.
Oh, yeah.
See
Oh, you
how
know
to
what?
Manage that.
I got to make sure that this thing connects to my good Wi-Fi, too. That was the other thing. That was part 2 of all this. So, all right, whatever. Anyway, well, I'm going to shut it down. Starting
Sounds
with
like
YouTube.
we're healthy.
So, yep, things look good to me. Fan
All right.
is blowing hot air out. Which
thanks
is
for everybody who just showed up randomly when we didn't say crap about what we were doing.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's pretty cool. Didn't even tweet
we got
it.
our stuff fixed.
Yeah, yeah. Ready to rock and roll 2021. Let's do it.
Yeah.